Hey guys, it's Meredith, and I just wanted to connect with all of you who weren't able to make our small group training on March the 10th. I know that everybody has busy schedules, and there's just it's hard to get here all the time. So I wanted to make sure you got the content though, because I think it's really important, the things that we talked about, the discussions we had, and I'd really like to just get it out to everybody. And I thought, why not try a video? It's probably my best option. So I'm trying this today. I've never done this before, so we'll see how this goes. But I first of all want to just say thank you for being a small group leader. Thank you for giving to people. Thank you for diving in, and thank you for loving on the people of Phos. It's so important. And as we venture into this, just a small training that I wanted to show you, I think it's just another element of small groups that we're going to dive into a little bit that can take us even further and can grow our ministry even more. So I'm hoping that you guys are going to be on board and be excited and want to dive in. So as we do this, I have a couple of resources that I wanted to make sure you have. I will attach these to with the video, so you'll have them. It's this sheet right here. You should print these out on your printer. It has a fill in the blank, so as you follow along with the training, you'll have that. You won't see my face this whole time. I'm going to do a lot of it through Keynote, so you will see some videos. And then this also has this list of scriptures that I think are important for you to have, and kind of just a reflection time. So hopefully that will be good for you. You'll have those, and then as we go, we'll just dive into this and we'll see how it goes. I'm excited, and again, thank you for all you do. Hopefully this is very helpful. Okay, here we are. This is the header slide for our small groups training from March the 10th, and this is for all small group leaders at Phos Community Church. And I just wanted to start off. We did some intro questions, and I just want to show you this cool tool that if you watch this whole video and fill out the little quiz at the end, that you'll be getting these. But I just wanted to show you what a cool tool this might be. So when we did the training, we did a little intro with these. So we started with these things called story cards, and we asked questions like, which picture best describes how you feel about leading a small group, and which picture best describes your feelings about discipleship. What that was, it shows you these cards here, and this is what a story card is. It has lots of pictures. You've got a whole box of them that were in that box that I just showed you, this box right here. You've got a whole box of them, and they will you'll be able to pull those out at small group. I'll probably start implementing these in the small group guides, and you can answer fun questions like, what do you think you feel about discipleship? By looking at this picture, which one of these pictures best describes how you feel? It's a great tool for opening up discussion at group. People can see something visual and they get excited, they can see it, they relate to it, and they're able to kind of share their feelings beyond that. So especially if you have a lot of people in your group who don't usually share, this is going to be a great tool. So if you stick around and watch this video, fill out the little quiz at the end that I'll send you, then you will get a box of these for your group, and I'll start using them as a part of the small group guide. I think they will be a great tool for us. So going back to those questions, which picture best describes how you feel about leading a small group? You may don't have the pictures in front of you right now, but I just want you to think about these two questions. How do you feel really about leading a small group? Are you in a good place right now? Just take a little time if you want. You can pause the recording and just think about that. And then your thoughts on discipleship, because today we're going to be talking a lot about discipleship and helping our people in our group grow. And so I wanted to kind of see what your first blush feelings about discipleship are. So what I would do is, those questions are listed on that sheet that I had you fill out. I might flip it over to the back and just, write your answers to those questions. Push pause, write your answers to those questions, and kind of see where you are with that. Okay, those story cards. The next thing I want you to do in regards to that is a little personal reflection. There is a section on your notes that says, what does the Bible say about discipleship? This is just a list of scriptures. Take some time at the beginning of this video and just really read through those and write your thoughts on pull up a definition of what you think is a good definition for discipleship. as we're talking about discipleship, we're talking about helping people grow, come closer to Christ. I want you to have a good idea based on what the Bible says and what your thoughts are on discipleship, of what the true meaning of discipleship is. So take some time, like again, when we were here in the training and we discussed this, we had a lot more discussion, so I hate that you've missed that. But I think from these scriptures and from your personal reflection, you'll be coming up with a good idea of what discipleship is. So you can pause now and do that, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Okay. Now that you're back, we're going to talk about, what discipleship looks like for Phos. Discipleship for Phos is the Great Commission. It's go, therefore, make disciples of all nations. We want to help people grow. We want them to know Christ. We want them to come closer to Him. We want them to grow in their relationship with Him, and then we want them to continue the tradition, and the tradition's not a great word. We want them to continue the message. We want them to become disciples who make disciples who make disciples. So I think small group leaders have a great in to helping people grow. And you are, like it or not, the spiritual leaders of our congregation. And so that's why I'm coming to you with this first and this initiative, because I really think you have a great opportunity to love people and to really take this to the next level, our discipleship process. And so as a small group leader, this is an expectation we hope to have of you, that you would want to love on people just a little bit more than you're already doing. I provided the small group guides for you starting this last year because I wanted there to be more time and more space in your life for loving on people better, helping people grow in their relationship with Christ. So that was provided for you. So then we can turn around and get to this point where we are taking people to the next step in their spiritual walk. If you go in your sheet that I gave you with the fill in the blanks, I didn't want to leave you hanging. I just want to say go disciple people. That wouldn't work because you'd be like, what? So I kind of wanted to look and see what discipleship might look like as a small group leader at Phos Community Church. And that's the next thing we're going to go into. The practical side of discipleship. One thing, what I want you to do, this is not discipling your whole group necessarily. This is taking one or two people who you want to dive in to relationship with more and just loving on them a little bit more, maybe having coffee with them once a month to talk about where they are spiritually. We'll talk about some of the resources I have for you in that. But one of the things I wanted to emphasize when you are doing something like this and you're looking to dive into somebody in your group's life a little bit more, you want to choose wisely. That's your first fill in the blank. Track with someone, choose someone who you connect with. That you see growing. Maybe they're really taken off in their relationship with the Lord and they just need some more guidance, or maybe they just are really kind of like at the very beginning of all this and they're just kind of lost and they need help. They need some direction, and you see potential in them. And also somebody that can fit into your schedule. I think that we're all busy, we all have crazy lives, and if you choose somebody that is like got a totally opposite schedule than you, then it's just not going to work. It all comes down to being able to be able to meet and be in relationships. So if you don't have time in your schedules to do that, then this whole idea is probably not going to work. So that's my first note. Choose wisely. Next note, invite them. You want to let the people that you're going to be working with and you're going to be meeting with and having more of a relationship with know that this is something that is important to you. You want them to come on this journey with you, and you need to let them know this is not something that's just casual, but it's something, it can feel casual, but it still needs to be intentional. And so I think in order to do that, you need to invite people. You need to just make a point to say, I want you to come and do this with me. And don't just expect them to fall in your lap, but take some time. Maybe take them out for coffee and explain what you're thinking, and then invite them into that process. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is seek to understand and do life together. you need to know what's really going on in people's lives. You can't expect to have a spiritual connection with somebody and challenge somebody on a spiritual level if you don't know them, if you don't have connection with them on a daily level or a weekly level. You know what's going on in their lives with their families, and you've connected with them on that level. So your first few meetings might just be getting together, hearing their testimony deeper than what you already know, and just really connecting with them and hearing about their kids and just life in general. Um, you need to have real conversations and make this an environment of vulnerability. You need to be vulnerable with them just as much as they are with you. They need to know that this is a safe place where they can come and be themselves and share what's really going on. And so in order to do that, you have to connect with them too and share what's going on in your life. It's really a great opportunity for both of you to have deep relationship. And part of this discipleship process, a huge part of it, is just seeking to understand and really doing life together. This next step, this is kind of a harder one. We are happy having coffee. We are happy being in relationship. But when it comes to checking in with people and really finding out where they are on a spiritual level, it's like taking it to the next level. No pun intended. You're really trying to do something that's difficult. You're taking a next step to say to somebody, so really, where are you tracking? How are you doing in your walk with the Lord? And you're expecting real and honest answer, which is why the part before is so important. So if you really want to connect with somebody on the spiritual level, first you got to get to know them well, and then you want to pour into their lives and see how they're going. One way you can do this, and we've talked about this from the stage here a lot at Phos, is to soap together. Soap is a way of reading the Bible together. SOAP is an acronym. It stands for Scripture, Observation, Application, and Prayer. This is a technique that Jeff has talked about a lot from the stage. It's basically a very easy way of studying Scripture. You can take one passage. We might be talking about Mark chapter 1 in the service that Sunday. You can take Mark chapter 1 and you can encourage your person that you're meeting with to do the same, and you can choose one passage from that Mark chapter 1 that really spoke to you. Make your observations about it. You can write the word soap down on a piece of paper. Encourage them to make their observations about it, and maybe think about how that applies to their life, and then to pray about that one passage. And then when you guys get together on your once a month coffee meetings, however often you choose to do it, you can talk about how you're tracking and how you're doing together with your soaping. So that's one way of doing this, meeting on a regular basis and just diving into the Word together. I don't think it's non-threatening. It's simple, and it allows people at all different ages and stages in their relationship with the Lord to really track well. If you have another Bible study or something in mind that you'd rather do with somebody, I think that's okay, as long as the commitment level is on both ends, and you both want to do it that way, or read a book, or however you want to do it. Dive into Scripture together on those times together, and just kind of really track well with each other. The next thing I wanted to talk about was encourage involvement. We know as a staff here at Phos and who've been doing this for a long time, that the best way for people to really track well with us and to track in their relationship with the Lord is to get involved. So we want them involved here at Phos, whether that be going on a missioncation trip, whether that be serving at Centerfield Elementary, whether that be in a small group, which all your people are already doing that. But also that could mean serving on the kids team or in hospitality or in on the greeting team, somewhere where they can get connected. And we have something called Starting Point here, which many of you have probably been through at different times in your time here at Phos. And that's a great way for them to get connected. So find out when the next Starting Point dates are, and connect them there. And if they're not already tracking on a serving here at on Sunday mornings or with the teens on Wednesday nights, if they're not tracking that way, do your best to help them get involved, because we really feel like for them to grow spiritually, that's going to be their best direction. And then, last thing, stay accountable. This is something that, accountability is hard. But this is talking about staying accountable with me and with the staff here at Phos. We want to help you. We want to pray with you. We want to encourage you. And so I would love to know who you're tracking with, how you're doing this, how things are going, and if you need help or whatever. So stay accountable with us here, and let me know just how things are going. I think this is a pretty simple process. You're going to coffee, you're soaping together, you're studying the word together, and you're loving on people and helping them grow, helping them get involved, and taking them to the next level. And then what's going to happen in turn, towards the latter part of your time with this person, we would love for them to turn around and do the same thing with somebody else. That's that making a disciple process. And that's this element of duplicate. We want this to duplicate. We want this to be a process that continues on, can help people grow, and it becomes part of the water here at Phos. We're all helping each other grow as we journey together. And a lot of times you are learning just as much from this person, these people in your small group, as they are learning from you. So it's not necessarily you teaching and feeling like you're high and mighty and doing all this for somebody. You're growing and learning together, and helping somebody grow, and they're helping you grow. It's a win-win situation for everyone. Okay, the next element I shared with folks during our training is about caring for your small group. As a group leader, this element of discipleship is one element of caring for your group and specific individuals in your group. But there's also an element where you're just trying to care for people as a whole. And I know, especially depending on what stage of life you're in, this can be very overwhelming. You feel like this can be kind of take over a little bit sometimes if you've got people having lots of surgeries or people having lots of babies or however that works. So I wanted to kind of describe to you what Phos sees as the role of a small group in somebody's life here, and how we want you to care for each other. The first thing I would like to say is when somebody is having a hard time, or maybe they're having a baby and it's really good, but they've had surgery and all that stuff, we want small groups to be the first responders. You are the first responders for your group. If you're reaching out to people and loving them, then we know that they're being cared for in the best way possible. We talk about, the church has to grow smaller to grow larger, which means people have to be in smaller communities so that they can feel connected, and more people will come and feel more connected. And so this element of small groups taking care of each other is so, so important. So small groups first. If something happens, you're the ones that are going to know about it first. And we want you to be, again, right there, first responders. Now, as a small group leader, that could be overwhelming if you have a lot of things happening, like I said before. So what I recommend to you as a small group leader is find the person in your group who is best at this, who is best at loving people, who is best at knowing what's going on in people's lives and caring for them, and then delegate responsibility for this to them. So if you find out as a small group leader that somebody's having surgery, then you call, for my example, in my group, it might be D. Klingenfuss. You call D and say, D, this person's hurting and they need help. What can we get the group activated around it? And then that's D's responsibility to make sure the group is helping and loving on these people. We want you as small group leaders to focus on leading the group and loving people and being in discipleship with each other. So if this is an element where you can delegate, then I think that that's a great, great thing. And it's going to allow other people to use their gifts where you as the leader, that may not be your biggest gift, but other people might have a greater gift in loving people. So that's my recommendation there. You also want to set boundaries. For example, if you know that a member is needing meals, you don't want to set up a system where down the road, it's going to be hard to duplicate that another time. So you're going to set up, if you're going to do meals, you want to set boundaries into exactly how many meals you can do. What is not going to break your group, and so you're not losing the ability to be able to duplicate and giving everybody the same amount of care. You just don't want to go overboard in every situation, because you will not be able to maintain that on a later date. And then communicate with the staff. We want to know if you've got somebody in your group that is having surgery, that is hurting. We want to know that. So you need to let me know if there's something happening. Now, we still want you to respond in the way that you're going to respond, but the staff needs to know so they can be praying, especially if it's somebody that's real involved here. We'd really like to get the staff to the hospital to visit, to pray with, or somebody that's brand new. We just want to make sure the staff is caring. So if you have information, please let us know so that those people don't fall through the cracks and don't feel like the staff loved on them enough. One way that you can do that is through this care team submission form, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. Our care team is capable of lots of things, and we are working to revamp that. I have recently taken that over to where I'm going to be growing that ministry, and so we have a form that I'm only allowing the staff to have and small group leaders to have, because I feel like you guys know the ins and outs of what's going on with people. Okay, I'm going to show you an example here of the form, and again, this is for you to submit to the staff to let us know what's going on in the lives of the people in your group that you perceive there's a need for. Again, small group leaders are to respond first, small groups are to respond first, but the staff still needs to know about it. So we want to know if we can be praying for them, if they need hospital visits, things that, details that you guys have that maybe we don't. So we want to know, we want you to communicate. And then if there's a need perceived to beyond what the group can do, then you can let us know that too. So you will put your information at the top, and then any contact information that you can give us for that person, name, email, phone number, any way that we can connect with them is great. And then let us know any detail you can about the need. This is really important. We want to be able to tell their story, and so we need as much information as we can. And you can put here whether or not it's information that can be shared or not. Some things are private, but we want to be able to tell their story. And if there's people that want to help that don't know it, the best way to get other folks on board is to let them know the story. So that's where you can let us know that. The second part of this form shows you some options of where the care team here at Phos can jump in and help. We can do hospital visits, meals, prayer team notification. We have a system called Encouragers, which is for folks who are needing a little bit further details about counseling or financial coaching. We can perhaps get them connected with the right people there. So that is our Encouragers program. We can do cards. And then here at the bottom, if there's any other perceived need that you see that's not on this list, you can let us know that. Now, again, these are all places where the small group may be responding, and we need to know that. But if the small group is tapped out and there's a need that you perceive that's beyond what you can do, please let us know and via this form. And we'll try to take care of the person as best as we can. We're going to work together to make sure we are caring for our people in the best way possible. Okay, I now want to segue into talking a little bit about Church Community Builder, or CCB as many like to call it. CCB is our online database that we use here at Phos to communicate with our folks. It helps us to do all kinds of things, and it's a great resource for small group leaders. And I know many of you have tried to work through it, and you've tried to use it, and some of you don't even know what I'm talking about, and that's okay. And I know it can be confusing at times because we're all on different levels in the tech world, and some of us have a better understanding of how to do something like this versus others. And so I just wanted to let you know that I wanted to be that resource for you. I wanted to be your church community builder resource. And in order to do that today, I wanted to go through a few things about how CCB works. And we'll dive into it a little bit. And then if you have any questions, we will go a little further in this a little bit later in the year. I did have a couple people request some church community builder training, so I'm looking into that. I'm thinking before our fall semester probably we will do a little bit of that. Maybe over the summer we'll have a church community builder training to kind of get you a little bit more in depth. But for now, let's just look at this and kind of see the overview of what church community builder can do for your groups, and some apps and stuff that can help you. Let's look here. So we're going to watch the video in a second, but I wanted to show you. So we have a video here about leading your group and what it means to lead your group through Church Community Builder. And then there's a couple apps. One is called the Lead app, which is done through CCB, and it looks like this if you're looking on your iPhone. I want you to download that, and I'll show you why here in just a little bit. And then the next one is called the GroupMe app. And this is not Church Community Builder, but we've used it in my group to do text messaging and things with. And it's nice to be able to respond. So that's another one. You can see both of those, Lead App and GroupMe. Those are two that you might want to download and keep and work on communication with your group on. So first we're going to watch the video about leading a group through Church Community Builder.
Hi, I'm Michael, and I'll be your guide through this overview of becoming a group leader. As a group leader, I'm here to share with you about the great tool you've been given to help you lead and manage your group. When you first log into the system, you will notice a list of groups. Click on a group to open it up. The screen is laid out to give you the name of the group at the top and tabs across the middle, highlighting the different parts of a group. As a leader, you will also need to use the group actions. So let's start with the tabs. The Info tab gives a simple overview of your group by showing a picture and description of your group. If someone is looking for a group, this is the first piece of information they will see, so make sure it's accurate. The Messages tab is your main communication hub for your group. You can send out emails and see a history of those emails in a conversation layout within your group. Next is the Calendar tab. Events that you create will be seen by the rest of the group. An event can be used to invite people, manage the guest list, record attendance, and more. The Files tab allows you to share files amongst your group members. If you have been given the privilege of uploading files, you can upload any size or type of file here. The Needs tab allows you to create a request that anyone in your group can sign up for, whether it's providing dinners for a family with a new baby or bringing rakes and shovels to help a missions team spruce up a neighborhood. The Needs tab can coordinate them all. The Positions and Schedules tabs work in conjunction with each other. If you are overseeing volunteers, these tabs allow you to create volunteer positions and then schedule when they volunteer from week to week. Finally, the Participants tab gives you a list of everyone in your group and a quick way to add new people. The Group Actions allows you to edit group settings, edit participants, send activation emails to members, record or edit attendance, send a text message, send a mail merge, and even print labels for your group. Finally, as a group leader, you can click the Reports icon to see a list of those available reports. From birthday lists to attendance, these reports are designed to help you as you lead. There you have it. As a leader, we've given you the power you need to communicate and orchestrate your group. For more information about groups, see our other videos and help articles.
Okay, that's just a little bit more about what CCB can do, and we'll dive more into that in some future training, but I wanted to share with you about the Lead app. This one is super functional for me. I use it a lot when dealing with people and different groups that I'm working with, and I love it. It's the app that I talked about previously. It has the blue icon with the 3 rings, as you see here, and there's so many things you can do with it. Just, it's so nice to have it straight on your phone, because a lot of times we don't want to log into our computers and do all that, or the website, the CCB website may not be as user-friendly on your phone. So this app, as a group leader, gives you some resources straight directly from your phone. So I'm going to show you a little bit about that. This is from a website, and I'll link the website here. I took some screenshots from their website to kind of show you a little bit about what it can do, but there's more detail in the website link. So I want you'll see this here, but then you can go back to that link and refer back for exact details if you have questions. So when you first open the app, you'll see a list of all the groups that you're a part of. Now that could be a group, that could be your greeting team that you're on. It could be the small group leaders team that you're on, but it also could be your small group. So groups are a variety of different things. That all those areas are groups. We're looking in the context of small groups. So you're going to find your particular small group that you're working with here in this list. And one cool thing you can do when you have a small group, you can take attendance. So you can, we don't do this all the time, but it's really great for us to know kind of who's tracking where. So if you can jump on your phone at the end of a group and take attendance, I think that is fantastic. You will benefit from it. You just go in and you look at your whatever specific day that you want to take attendance for. And what I think is really cool, you do that here. You put the attendance on here, and you can check who's there, and you can put if you had any visitors, those kinds of things. But after you do all that, it gets you to an event summary, which I think is super cool, because you have the day of whenever you're meeting, and then you can type in like prayer requests and things like if you had homework or something that you wanted them to do for the next group, like you could put that in the event notes thing, and then you can email a summary of it to whoever you wanted to kind of remind the group about what you guys talked about or about the prayer requests. So that's a super cool resource there that I didn't actually really know about until I dove into it a little bit. So that's really neat there. You can send messages, which is another word, emails, to everybody, and that can go from directly from that app to everybody's inbox on here. It'll keep track of all the previous messages there. So that's really cool because you can communicate via everybody straight from your phone, and you don't have to worry about pulling up your email or whatever and finding the group or whatever. It's all right there already. The other thing you can do is there's a members tab. In the members tab, it will show you all of the members in your group. It will show you where you can click on them and you can see their profiles. It give you some contact information, tell you about their family. So that's pretty cool. And you can add members to your group by clicking the little plus sign at the above on this screen. You can delete people from your group. So if you know they're not coming anymore, you can take them out. Really cool little things there. You can assign a leader, which is neat because sometimes you might have someone who, like I said earlier about delegating responsibility, so you might have someone who's taking on the responsibility of caring for your group and the needs requests. So you can put that person as an assistant leader, and they have the ability to go in and set that up too. So they can download the Lead app. It'll show up, your group will show up in their information, and they can do all this from their phone too. So that's really cool that you can assign a leader straight from there. You can send a group text. Now this is it's okay. This is more of like sending an announcement. So if you wanted to say to the group, reminder, group tonight, 6 o'clock. Don't expect replies though. They can't reply back to that text. So it is mainly for folks that you just want to give an announcement as to what you're doing. That other app that I was talking about before, GroupMe, that one would be a better one for your group talking back and forth to each other and just sharing and doing life together. So I would download that if you're looking for something like that. And you can use this Lead app for just sending an announcement text. Now, it does say here that for your member to get the text, they must have their mobile number in their profile on Church Community Builder, and they must have their mobile carrier. We've worked really hard to try to get everybody to have that in there when we first put them in there, but if for some reason they're not getting their text, they may want to go back in and see if that's the reason. You want to make sure everybody's got all that in their profile. Now, the next thing you can do straight from your phone, which is super cool, is the needs. This is when you set up a need for meals, or maybe you guys have meals every week at small group and you want to tell people that, this week I'm bringing mashed potatoes or whatever. You can do that here. You go into the needs, click on that, and you can type in a title and a description of what the need is, and then you can add items in here. Like on that item name section, you might put mashed potatoes and bring it on this date, or bring dinner to so-and-so on this date, and then you can add another item and keep going and keep going. And then once you've added all the things in there that you need, you can click inform, and you're going to inform people about that need, and then people will be able to sign up just like they would from something I send. Another thing you can do is this special days thing, which is a cool little tab. If people put in there their birthdays or anniversaries or whatever, you can click on that and you'll be able to see when people's birthdays are. So if it's Thursday and you're meeting for small group and you get on your phone, you're like, oh my gosh, it's so-and-so's birthday, then you can go get them a cake or something like that and be ready for small group that night so you won't miss it. So I think that's a really fun tool to use. The Lead app is a great resource, and I hope that you get a lot out of it. It's beneficial to you, and if you download it and start using it, I know you're going to like it. All right, thank you guys again for watching the keynote presentation from our training on March the 10th. I wanted to close with a few things that I think are super important, and some things I'm going to be talking about coming up, and I wanted you to just kind of know where I was with some things. So in closing, I wanted to talk a little bit about future small group leaders and why I think it's important that we bring future small group leaders out of our existing small groups. And I know that that is super hard. And a lot of people think there's no way I'm leaving my group now. I'm not doing it. No way. Forget it. You're even thinking, I love my group. I don't think I can move on. But I really think it's the future of Phos small groups. And here's why. I think it's the future because people who've been in group understand what it takes to be in group, and they know how to start a new group, how to make it go well, because they've seen it in action and they've seen it happen. So as the future few months come, I want to kind of communicate this with our groups. I'm going to try to do a video. I've got Karen and Jeff Mitchell have recently done this just this last year, and they have had an incredible experience. So I want to get them on video, kind of talking about it a little bit. But I want you to be able to really communicate this with your groups well. So I want you to know this kind of campaign is coming because I think it's important that we share with our groups the importance of this and kind of eliminate some fears and things that might show up. So I really am excited about this. I'm excited about the future of Phos small groups, and I really think this is the best way to take it to the next level. So as you start to see that coming up, don't get scared, don't get nervous. Just be excited and try to help your group be excited about the idea of growing groups. The reason that we need to reach more people, as we have more people coming to Phos, we need more people in group. Like I said before, we have to grow smaller to grow bigger, and we really need new leaders to help with that. And those group leaders, I really feel the best way for us to get those is through our current and existing small groups. If you have any questions, the other thing I wanted to say is if you have any questions about anything that I talked about, I am happy to answer them via email. We can have coffee, to answer them via text, however is best for you. I know you all have super busy schedules. I'm happy to answer them. I would love to talk to you more. So please reach out to me. Let me know. I'm here for you. That's my job, is to be here for you. And so I'm here, and I want to be the best resource I can for you. So yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, anything, please feel free to reach out to me. The last thing, I'm going to send you a link to a little quiz about this video, just so I know you read it or watched it. I know that I just want you to, I think it's really important information, and I want to know that you've watched it. So I'm going to send this little quiz, and if you fill it out and just I see that you submitted it, and you then I'll get you some of those story cards, and we will start to using those in our group. That's what these are. Super excited. They're way fun. And the people who were here for the training, they already have these in hand, and so I might want you to have them too. Again, thank you again for all you do, for serving, and for being a part of this community in the way that you are. I am beyond blessed by you on a weekly, daily basis, and you need to know that you are vital and you are important, and together we're going to grow more followers of Christ, more disciples, and we are all going to jump to the next level in our spiritual walk. This is a journey that we're on together, and I am proud to be on it with you. Thank you.